6 o'clock. And who would like to start off with the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're going to take the roll call. Kathy Gwynn, Chair. Here I am.
Kathleen Harris, Vice Chair.
John Schwarzenberger, member here.
Jerry Hall, member here.
And Lacey is absent because she has back to school night. Okay, at this time, it's an opportunity for any matter of interest, oral communications from the public, whether that we're on the agenda or not. Unless you need additional time, and if it goes a little over, if we say it's okay, keep talking, it'll be limited to 3 minutes. Would anybody like to come up? Come on in. Do they have to do their name?
Is this where I go?
Please state your name.
Okay, Peggy Hensley. I live in Porterville since I was 18, so I've seen a lot of changes and growth in the town. But the biggest one is right out here when we get open, the animal shelter. I wanted to ask, are you guys selling collars and leashes? Does anybody know?
If we're selling collars? or-
Collars and leashes.
Oh, collars for the dogs or leashes, all, for walking them. Are we going to be selling those?
Oh, that is an operations function from from the shelter
And they aren't
director.
here today?
No. But we
Well-
do have one of the I'm sorry,
That's okay.
the captain,
Yes.
Josh, he can probably,
So there's no plans to sell collars or leashes. So generally what happens with oral communication, I would just suggest if you have a question pertaining to that, if you call us at the police department, we can answer most of your questions. Because generally oral communications is a time to give a comment to the commission board where there's generally no feedback provided.
Oh, bummer, okay.
But in this form, go ahead. I mean,
yeah,
it's
go,
fine.
yeah.
Okay,
You're here?
Casual,
Yeah,
it's
you're-
not 40,000 people here. Okay, because cats, I'm a cat person, in case you can't tell, have a very sensitive hearing, and they sell those darn collars with a bell on them. That's a no-no. I was going to suggest, ship them back with a nasty note in there. They're making product not even knowing, understanding the fur baby it's going to be put onto. And that should never be done. Well, in the coffee news, you have a double ad, and you do mention pets. I prefer companion animals. It's a much better, creates a better picture. And I think a lot of people agree with that. And you've got 3 different pictures, 3 different breed of dog. There's no cat, no picture, no mention of, in fact, you don't mention dog in the ad, you don't mention cat. I assume we are to understand they're there. But I think a couple of cat faces of different breeds should also be in that ad. Come on, people, because cats are always neglected. Right now, your hours are 11 to 4, Monday through Friday. When you move to town, will those hours be lengthened? And maybe a Saturday and Sunday once in a while?
Again, that's going to be an operational question that
I went
needs to
the
be
wrong
answered
place.
by the shelter manager.
Yeah,
We're here as an advisory committee and to listen to the public and to bring back some of the feedback that we
Well,
get from you. So,
you've got some from me, and
and I appreciate it. Thank you.
yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much for attending. Can I ask the other guests to come forward? And thank you for coming here too. I appreciate it.
Can we both come at the same time?
Pardon? Yeah, that's
Oh.
fine.
So my name is Robert Garcia. I'm from Porterville, California. And 2 Wednesdays ago, our cat was trapped. And he was trapped and thrown in a field. And we called the officers, and they came out, and they spoke to our neighbor. And the neighbor admitted to trapping a cat and throwing it. And we asked where the cat was, and he wouldn't tell us. So we're just assuming that maybe he murdered our cat. We just don't know. But I'm gonna let my niece talk. This is her pet.
Well, she's never been a problem like in our neighborhood. You know, she's real friendly with all the neighbors. She's well known. It's just a small little neighborhood. Yeah, a little cul-de-sac. But finally, this man just moves in, and all of a sudden, like, he decides he has a problem with my cat, and I guess he decided to take upon his own to just get rid of her himself. He set up feral traps, I guess, in his backyard. That's what he told the officer. And I'm assuming that he just said that he was trying to catch other cats, but I think it was just supposed to be mine. And he just dumped her and he knew we were calling for her. We were outside that night, and we were just calling for her because I heard her responding to me. And I didn't want to barge into someone's backyard just because I heard her. So I just waited, and finally that's whenever I couldn't hear her no more, and I heard him throw something in his trunk, and he took off for a good like 15 minutes. And after that, I just never heard her. And then I just assumed, I knew, it was just a feeling that he took her and dumped her somewhere. So then that's when we called the cops, and he admitted to getting rid of a cat like just 2 or 3 days ago. And she has a collar on, so it's like, why, you know what I mean? Like, why would you do that? I feel like this is a really serious issue. He shouldn't have done that. Like, he shouldn't have thought it was okay to take it upon his own hands to go and get rid of my cat. He could have said something.
And the police officer came out
He
to
did.
speak to the gentleman and
Yeah,
did,
he's saying that he doesn't know what the cat looked like, or that he doesn't remember where he dropped her off.
okay. And is anything going to be done? Do you know if you're going to,
They asked us if we wanted to press charges, and we said yes. And he said he
Okay.
was submitted to the DA's office.
okay,
He did admit that that was not his first cat. He had trapped other cats, and he has dumped him in the fields. But we're calling upon our cat, because our cat had tags on it, you know, and it did have a collar with the bell, so that's how we knew it was our, you know, our cat was around the neighborhood and stuff like that. You know, but our cat, the neighbors we have now, they've only been there for 2 months. They just moved in. And the people that were there before lived there for a very long time. She's had her cat, she rescued her cat, you know, and she's had it for 4 years, and we've never had a problem. And it used to visit the neighbors, because the neighbors would give it treats and stuff like that. Well, the woman neighbor passed away not too long ago, and then the man decided he was going to move with his children, so that's why he left the home. But the cat doesn't know that. You know, he still goes over there to visit, but he doesn't know the people, you know, where the family that lived there before is at. You know, I'm sorry, we're both nervous, you know. But she's, you know, we're both really hurt, because that was our family cat, you know.
I'm really sorry that happened.
And we did hear over the fence when the officer was talking to the neighbor, he goes, "It's just a cat. It's just a cat." You know, so it's like, no, it's not just a cat. That was he spent the night with us. He always slept inside, you know. He used to love walking the neighborhood, you know, and of course, you know, if you have a cat, sometimes you open the door and they just run out with you, not knowing that they're going to do that, you know. But he was, we would call her to home, and she would come home. Or she would hear our cars turn the corner, and she would come running because she knew we were coming home. So she knew our cars, she knew our voices, you know. And that night when she came home, the cat went missing on a Wednesday. Thursday night, she came home because she was still looking for her cat. And it was about 11 o'clock at night when she called out to her cat, and the cat meowed. And it sounded like it was coming from another area, but when I got on the ladder to go up higher, it was coming right by behind our neighbor's home.
And the police officer did follow up with you and let you know the next steps and what? And he talked-
All he said that he was going to submit it to the district attorney, so that's all he mentioned.
I'm sure he
to us.
told,
He gave her a card if we had any questions to call or anything like that, but
Okay.
that's as far as he went,
okay, it is against the law
yeah.
to do that. And, you know, hopefully you get something happen and that will be a benefit to your family. I'm sorry, again, that happened. And I appreciate you coming in to share your story and to share what happened. And I am pleased, though, that the officer did follow up with you to give you some advice and what the next steps could be. And I'm sure he probably talked to the man, too, that you can't do that, so.
Exactly. Yeah, we just, like I said.
I know,
it's
it
only
is
been-
sad. Pardon?
If I may.
Yes.
As Ms. Gwynn stated, we are merely a review committee, reviewing the statistics of the animal services operation and how, what they do. We're not a legislative body by any stretch of the imagination, nor are we in a position to give guidance and counsel. However, I would recommend, I spent 35 years in law enforcement, and I work closely with the police department here in town, and they are inundated with crimes of violence, not to mention everything else that goes on, the traffic violations, the assaults that take place, traffic accidents, calls for disturbances, and they are in the process of increasing their manpower so that they can work and cover more areas of concern. What you need to do is you need to do due diligence yourself. Don't be someone who calls every day, but take an opportunity to touch base with the officer. Was it a police officer or a animal control officer who came out?
He was a police officer.
Police officer. If he gave you the card, then he has invited you to check with him periodically to see if there's progress on the situation.
Okay.
The courts are just as inundated with every nature of crime that the police department, the sheriff's department, highway patrol is concerned with right now. But if you can just gently be a continual reminder, then perhaps he will, in his daily patrol, when he's not answering emergency response calls, he will have an opportunity perhaps to do some follow-up in the neighborhood. Not to say that he is odds of recovering your animal, and it breaks my heart that this took place. Obviously, we're all animal lovers here, or we wouldn't be sitting on this commission. But you never know what's going to happen. There have been stories, there's been movies made about animals that were gone for extended period of times and found their way home. Hope for the best. But gentle reminders to the officer, it's not going to hurt. He's not going to be upset with you for doing that, as long as you don't call him every day.
Yeah, exactly.
Captain?
Oh, forgive me. I think that you covered it just perfectly. If you have any issues from here on out, just notify the police department, contact the officer, and he'll call you back. If he's off shift, when he comes back, he'll give you a call.
Okay, thank you.
I appreciate you coming in.
If not, I know his boss.
My only suggestion to help you is put the cat's litter box outside on the porch.
Yeah, I did
That
that
we can,
already.
okay.
Thank you, though.
Okay, and good
We
luck.
know his boss, but we know his aunt. We go to her church, so. Oh. Yeah, we go to Landmark.
Great, okay. I've seen you there probably.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much. We appreciate
Thank you
Once
so
again,
much.
our deepest
Yes.
sympathies on this situation.
Yeah.
That, pardon my French, that sucks.
Yeah, it does. It hurts us. My mom's the one sitting back here, but she heard when the man brought the cat out, and it looked like he was being strangled, and he threw him in the car and peeled out. So we were in the backyard, so we didn't have time to run to follow him. But we did go search all the fields, and we've been doing that daily, just driving, hoping we would see the cat out there somewhere, so.
Take faith in the knowledge that there will be a day of judgment for that man.
Yeah, yeah. But it was not just a cat. It was our
Oh, yeah,
family.
their family.
Family
Yeah,
member.
it was our family
Yeah.
member, so. Thank you, though. We appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
And you're invited to these meetings anytime we have them.
Any more oral communications from the public? Nobody online or anything? Hey, I'm excited. We had people that showed up. It wasn't just me talking. Okay, the approval of the minutes for October 13. And again, everybody in the audience, thank you so much for coming. appreciate your presence here. The approval of minutes for October 13th, oh,
I
that's
saw no
you.
problem, I saw no problems with it at all, and I would move that we okay it.
Do I give her this copy? of this?
No, I've already signed it.
My email did not include minutes from the previous meeting.
Want to see it? Here.
or
Because they
statistics.
were in the last one. We didn't have minutes from
You can have that one, Jerry.
the, or, January.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. Okay, so that's, you already signed it, so that's been approved, got it. Okay, this is the time of staff information items.
Did you want to approve these?
No, she has.
I said I moved to approve.
Oh,
Okay.
We just need a second.
second.
You weren't here. You can't.
Oh, one of you guys,
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
you gotta tell me what to do sometimes. I'm never here.
Okay.
All right. Moving on. Staff information items, that we had the shelter stats for October, November, December, and then more for January, February, and March. Everybody got an emailed copy. Have you had a chance to take a look at it, to read through it? I don't really have anything that stood out.
Yeah, it
to
looked
me.
really good to me.
Yeah.
Look normal.
Yeah, doing business. Okay, so no discussion on the shelter stats at this time? We're good?
We can do the changes.
Nope. We're good? Okay. Moving on to scheduled matters, monthly meetings. We're gonna,
Yeah, I'm thinking that maybe we could move back to the monthly meetings since the shelter is almost open, at least twice until we get everything all squared away and.
If I can
maybe
add something to that real quick, I would be remiss if I didn't have this discussion or be part of it. In kind of looking at the past meetings and how they go, when you guys vote on this, it really comes down to a needs assessment. I don't know personally if going to a monthly meeting, if you're going to get the information that you anticipate. The time that staff spends and prepares for these meetings, it exceeds the time that we're in here together discussing this. And I can give you an example. Stephanie Marsh is our new administrative assistant patrol secretary. She's taken Tiffany's spot. Tiffany's showing her how to conduct a meeting. But on average, in having a discussion, she spends anywhere from 3 to 5 hours in preparation between emails, generating the agenda, outlining the minutes. They actually get off at 5. They stick around until 6. This is not about me. I'm a salaried employee. I stay here, get off at 5, stick around. And again, it's just, it's hard to justify not only the overtime, but the amount of time spent for the time we're in here.
Right.
So I just want to bring that to your attention and just let that be some consideration as you take this to a vote. And just, I'm sorry, Kathy, just to add to that,
Sure.
if it wasn't for the citizens with oral communication, and it's greatly appreciated that each one of you are here this evening and provided a comment. It's been quite a while since we've had someone to come provide comments, whatever those comments may be. In looking at the scheduled matters, I could literally probably cover these in 5 minutes. And so I'm just giving you an example of how quickly that the time would go compared to the time spent for preparation.
Yeah, I
That-
think we can
that's
just
all I
keep
have.
them like they are.
Just keep them as they are. I wouldn't move it yet. And because we have to remember that we do have to protect people's time.
Yeah.
Especially staff. I get it. I used to be a administrative manager, so I know you don't have to do what we do. You work, what, 24/7 sometimes?
If there was more hours in the day and week, it would be much more.
We'd still be working, right?
But
I
yes.
know, yeah, vacation too. Yeah, I'm for that. I think protecting staff time is very, very, very important, as well as, it's not just Animal Control Commission that you're doing all other kinds of stuff too, so.
Just to support that decision, I'm on other committees in the city one of which is TUTOC, the Transaction and Use Tax Oversight Committee.
Oh, yeah.
And this is what, one meeting right here.
That's a lot.
And we generally do not take more than 30 minutes to review all this. And what we are responsible for oversight is not only communicating with the city manager, but we also oversight on the chief of police, fire department, the police department, fire department, public works, parks and leisures, and library. And what we do is we have liaisons and we communicate with each of these agencies from within the committee. But we managed to get through it on
Yeah.
pretty timely matter, covering hundreds of pages, dealing with hundreds of thousands of dollars of oversight.
Yeah, and
I
considering.
agree, it would be nice if we could get together more often, but I think just out of consideration to city staff, the overtime, to the city, the time that they have to put in, and Captain Manus is a little bit humble about it, but he is salaried employee. He's here on his own time right now. He doesn't get paid for this.
No.
And he has to put on that pretty blue shirt and everything and come down here and shave. So,
Take a
but
bath,
he's
take a
really a
shower.
good guy for doing that.
Thank you.
Anytime you see one of these meetings after hours and you have someone from management, lieutenant and above, they're here on their own time. Sergeants can still get paid overtime and officers,
I remember those
but
days.
I think that's a wise
Working
decision
day.
on our part. If the time
For
comes
now, yeah.
when,
Yeah.
especially
Maybe when
after
we're
the new
ramping
shelter.
up, and maybe even going to maybe every other month
That
for
was what I was gonna
Yeah,
bring up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I would say leave it quarterly.
quarterly for
And
now.
then give ourselves the option that we could call a special meeting if we need to.
There you go. I like that.
I'm the
That would-
executive vice president of the International Western Music Association, and we meet quarterly via Zoom. And we still manage to take care of that organization, which is not only the United
It's
States, but
extensive.
we have representatives internationally, in Europe and Australia, Canada, Hawaii. Well, that's part of the United States, but we manage to take care of our business in a timely manner as well. So I think we can do
We
it.
can do it.
We can do it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for that input.
Yeah, and as the shelter opens, we'll be coordinating with them a lot more too, to get information flowing.
I guess the next one's going to be, council meeting reports.
Yeah, this one, when we had, our last meeting was canceled. And,
I was sick.
yeah, three of us were sick. So when the city council meeting was done the following Tuesday, I spoke as a citizen, but there was also a report given for the commission, and we did not have a meeting. So that report should not have been given.
That report
That's-
was given by me, and it was not, basically, it was to provide the information that we had not had meetings, and that it was to communicate with the police department regarding our relationship with them. I was there to give another report on TUTOC, and you had left the room, so I went ahead and represented us at that meeting. And if there was anything that I did or said that was inappropriate, Captain Manus can address that right now if necessary.
I think there's enough said about that. The purpose of the reports to the council is to keep them advised. There was no meeting, so, I mean, there was nothing inappropriate that was said.
Well, the only thing I had was concerned about is the two things that were spoken about were the two things that were on the agenda. I'm just saying that because none of us knew that that was going to happen. Like I said, I spoke as a citizen. If you had spoken as a citizen, I'd have no problem, none. But I felt like we were being represented and nobody knew.
Well, I can add, and I should add, that at the council meetings after these take place, and we used to do this, and I would like to see this come back, but there should be some type of report given to the city council so they can stay informed, and that does come from the commission. I mean,
yeah, we used
Chairperson, you have given reports in the past based
I'm
on
prepared to do
statistical
the-
data.
Okay, well,
one
then
next Tuesday.
yeah, we'll start doing that then after, because I never
Thank you,
thought to
Lori.
go if we didn't have anything to talk about.
Sure,
So,
yeah, I
Okay.
understand.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think all he was saying is that he was just letting them know, because they're expecting reports that we
Yeah,
didn't have a
I get
meeting,
it.
Yeah,
so.
well,
I get it.
and that's why I'm bringing it up, because we needed to know. But yeah, I have no problem with it then.
So we're all good there.
Yeah, we're all good.
Okay. Josh, I guess you're just going to keep going, right?
I can keep
Sure.
going. I told you guys I can have this
Shelter
covered in
tour.
5 minutes. So let me give you the progress of the shelter. It's coming along fantastically and in accordance with the schedule. It looks like it's going to be the end of April when we officially open. We're going to have to contend with some logistical issues as far as moving some equipment, bringing over some of the animals. With that being said, you guys will be one of the first bodies to get in there and take a look at it before it actually opens. Currently, right now, it's still under construction, so it's still considered a construction zone. But as it nears and ends completion before it opens, you wonderful people will be able to come in and check it out.
That's my birthday weekend.
Well, then, happy early birthday.
Maybe. If it's still my birthday is April 30th, but I'm the kind of person that celebrates it beginning the 1st.
I'm assuming we're the same age because I'm 46.
Dude, I'm going to be 65.
That's a compliment.
Thank you.
I didn't ask for your age.
I don't care.
I'm ageless,
care.
I'm still 29.
We have a lot in common, Kathy. I turned 65 14 years ago.
There you go. All right, still a number though, right? Okay, shelter staff, Josh again.
Yeah, certainly. So shelter staff, I am pleased to report that we have hired one full-time community service officer who we've assigned to the animal control unit. We currently have 2 more in backgrounds. Well, I should say one of those 2 have completed his background, and that's for a CSO2 position assigned to animal control. The CSO2 position is equivalent to a supervisory position to fill in for Erica when she's absent. He has his chief's interview next week. We also hired another full-time community service officer whose primary focus is patrol-related activity. However, he does augment animal control. Additionally, we have 2 more individuals for part-time kennel technician positions who will actually help in the facility. Both of those individuals currently have their background that they're completing. Once those are turned in, they'll be assigned to a background investigator to undertake their background.
I believe I
Wonderful.
had the pleasure of meeting a couple of them, and I'm going to have to say that you have a real high caliber of staff.
We do. Thank you very
I
much.
got to hand that to you, because I was like really pleased with them. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, there was,
Sharp. I was excited.
Well, they should be. They're
Good
gonna have
job.
lots
I mean,
of things to deal with.
I can tell you guys work, really honed it down as far as getting some really good.
Yeah, and
people.
I can't take credit for that. It's,
Take a little
it-
bit, come on.
well, it's our recruiting personnel, the ones who do the interviews. It's a collective, but, I mean, they're really the ones who are, identifying the potential candidates for these positions. But I do appreciate the compliment.
Well, I will make sure I say that compliment again at the next council meeting. when
Yeah,
I
thank
give a
you.
report. Okay,
we
great.
had an incident, actually it was kind of comical. There was a pit bull and a little bitty dog. I don't know what it was. They were running through Walgreens. They were inside the store, outside, going back inside. Well, they sent an officer to come and get him. He had and he's in the pickup. He has the little one in a crate in the back. He doesn't have anything big enough for that pit bull. Pit bull does not want to get in the back seat of that car. So I said, you need some help. He looks at me and he's too big. He couldn't pick him up. The officer was just a little bitty guy, and that was a brute.
I bet.
It was comical, but he got it in.
Oh, a really quick side note, Josh, I know I had asked the question about, is it animal control or animal services? Did you get that ironed out yet?
Yeah, can we discuss that in other matters
Yeah.
towards the end, and I'll completely explain everything?
Good, thank
I
you.
was going to bring it
Absolutely.
up then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, the spay neuter fee waiver for veteran adoptions?
Yeah, I guess I would ask, what was the question on that one?
Well, the question is why can't we have for the veterans, a waiver for the spay and neuter? I mean, yeah, their adoptions are free with the exception of the license, but the animals cannot leave the shelter unless they are spayed or neutered. And, you know, the veterans, they fought for our country, they died for our country, and they continue to do that, and a spay and neuter is nothing.
Are you talking about the spay and neuter when they adopt a dog? That's actually covered.
It is covered. They're
It is
not-
covered, it's covered under Senate Bill 245. The only thing that they pay for is the license. When we adopt a
'cause-
dog, yeah, when we adopt a dog, or a cat in certain events, that's all covered. That's part of it.
Because I thought what you were told that at one time, Augie, and you and Augie had gotten together and decided to charge that.
No, Senate Bill 245 specifically, like we're relating, covers the adoption.
sure.
Adoption fees, rabies vaccinations, microchips, spay, neuter, parvo, distemper, and the medication that they issue for kennel cough.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so does that cover 5 and 6 then?
Well, it doesn't cover 6.
So this is,
Yeah, there's still a number 6.
okay, so are you okay with the,
Yeah, I'm okay with
okay,
that.
now, one number
On number 6, okay, this was enacted at the beginning of the year, and that is a cat adoption for vets, just like the dog adoptions. And we don't have any areas in our shelter, from what I understand, for cats. And I think they should have them in there.
So there's you were given some misleading information because there's a cat house at the current shelter. We also have kennels at the new shelter. This is actually part of still, I know you had cited.
Yeah, I've got
you cited
this-
the correct code. That's actually part of the Senate Bill 245 as far as the adoptions go. However, we work with our allied rescue partners when it comes to cats. And so I asked Erica, we just had this conversation recently, when was the last time, excuse me, you guys had a cat at the shelter? She said, not as far back as she can remember, with the exception of one that was just brought in because I think it was sick or
It
injured
was
or
badly injured.
or somebody found it, but generally the adoptions of the cats it comes from our partners.
Okay,
Cat House on the Kings, the other affiliations.
okay. Sounds good. Now I'm done.
Go ahead, Sean, you can say, I'll let you take the thunder.
Oral communications.
Yeah, we gotta do oral again.
Any more
in case
oral,
you got
any more
something
oral
else to say.
communications? Any last words or another comment? Can I have your name already here?
Robert Garcia from Porterville. We did go to the shelter, and they did say they didn't have any cats, but we weren't sure where to go to see if we can search another place.
Excuse me, can you say that one more time?
So I did go to the shelter yesterday, and I asked she asked me what I was there for, and I got word trying to see if we can find a missing cat, and she said, we don't do cats here. And that was the last thing.
PetSmart.
So I wasn't sure where to go from there.
And that was at the shelter,
Yes.
the one just outside of Lindsay?
Yeah, the one in Lindsay.
Okay, I can't really speak to the operations.
I
part,
think,
but-
are you asking where you could go to find another cat?
Well, no,
No, no,
to
no.
find, see if someone,
He went to go see if his
if the
cat
town
was
picked
there.
up her cat, or maybe
Yeah,
somebody
and,
called.
yeah, so they would know if a cat was brought in. It was probably a miscommunication on the animal officer's part that you spoke to. It's just because when we get cats, we have the adoption partners that we work
Yes.
with. So we make sure that those cats get to the correct place that they need to go for the adoption purposes. So if someone would have brought your cat in and you talked to them, they would have said, oh yeah, we found that cat, or someone dropped it off.
Yeah,
But it's so rare that,
Exactly. Yeah, she stated, we don't take no cats here.
yeah.
Unless it's really injured. So I was like, okay, so that just left me, I turned around and walked out, like, okay.
Yeah.
So we weren't sure where to go, just in case somebody called.
Yeah, so like if somebody found your cat
Yes.
and they contacted us, we would refer them to, somewhere that specializes or someone that adopts them out.
Okay.
Now, I mean, like I said, we're set up to take cats. We very rarely encounter them,
Okay,
the ones that become adoptable.
exactly. Okay, thank you.
There is a program for picking up cats, but it primarily is for feral cats.
Okay,
So if your cat was involved in the program where the feral cats are being taken in, they would have noticed that because of the collar, if the collar was still intact.
Correct.
Ours is chipped
And that would have
also.
been a flag would have gone up to
Exactly.
the individual who picked up your cat.
They got the cat. Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Now,
Well,
other
I'll let the
matters.
Chief go ahead and start, because he might answer my question.
So, other matters? We're
Yes.
moving on to, so, as a command staff, I mean, we've discussed this, we did take an informational report to council as like a preparatory type of item, so they, kind of understood where we were going with it. So we'll be writing a staff report and submitting it to officially change the name to Porterville Animal Services, which will probably go on, not the next meeting, but the meeting after that. There's a lot that it entails as far as like changing the charter, changing graphics, changing name on social media pages, things of that sort. So it's underway.
Will that include changing the name of the commission?
Yeah, everything.
Okay.
So if you look at if you have the agenda in front of you, where it says Animal Control Commission at the top left-hand portion, it'll be changed to Porterville Animal Services Commission instead of the Animal Control
We had
Commission.
talked about that meetings ago, I think. Okay, perfect, yeah. Oh, yeah. Since
Go ahead.
we're still in other matters, when it comes to the social media, is there a new page out or something? Is anybody running it? Because I went to look something up today, and I found, must have been the old animal
You know,
control one, because
yeah,
it was dated last year.
But it does say animal services.
We had this discussion, we can't delete, it's an old one and we can't delete it.
Oh, I know, that's tough, yeah.
It was compromised back in the day, but Augie was the admin. So he had the passwords.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah, so unfortunately, it can't be changed. But you do know, we do have an active social media account for our shelter, right?
That's under animal services, right? Because I was trying to pull it up, and the
Let
only
me
one that
see
kept
real
coming up
quick.
was the
Under
old one.
Porterville Animal Services. I've
I
seen it.
tried typing that in, too.
Seen Porterville Animal Services.
Let me give you let me make sure real quick and give you the correct information. So it's under PVAC, PVAC,
Okay,
space shelter.
okay. That one I found, I was just looking for more of the name, but okay, so I got that one. So that old one is still in a compromised position then, even though it hasn't been touched in a while?
Unfortunately, yeah.
Okay. 'Cause I was
Well,
just-
I'm sorry. I say it's still not compromised. It's still active.
Right. Well, I was just wondering if maybe just a vague post there to direct people
Oh.
to the right page.
Yeah, that's a great
Nothing's
idea.
been on there since last year, so.
Perfect.
Good observation, Sean.
That's all I have.
Okay, that's it? Anything,
Yeah,
Tara?
because the other questions will get answered when we do our tour.
I have one. I just have one under other matters. Super simple. And I know we had recommended that the city memorialize the new shelter for Augie. And of course, we know that that's not going to happen, but could it possibly be that on the inside, and this would be a suggestion or recommendation, the inside of the main office, before they go into where the animals actually are to look at them, we have a plaque there that calls Augie's Adoption Center, right there. I think that would be perfect for him.
Yeah,
don't know.
what I
it's
think you
just a little
guys should
plaque.
do, is, and this is my advice, when you tour the facility, really look at all the space, the offices and the areas, and then I would say, come back and discuss it.
Okay,
Unless you guys all say, I think that's the best way to approach it, because you say this now, but when you get in there, you might be like, oh, this would have been a great suggestion, or this would have been a great suggestion. So, I mean, that's,
okay,
That's a good idea.
yeah.
So that we see where the appropriate place might be when we
Right,
see the
correct.
structure. Yeah.
Now we know why he's the captain now.
wait, what?
And now we know why he's the captain.
I'm
Good
done.
ideas.
Okay,
Okay, done?
I'm done.
Done? I'm
Okay.
good.
Next meeting,
July 11th?
set a date.
What?
What's there now? Next meeting?
Oh, yeah, next meeting's July 11th.
Oh,
I'll
I
be
thought he
here.
said next week, and I thought, what?
I will be, I know, what's next week? Next Tuesday, I'll be at the council meeting, that's when I'll give the report. And again, I'm gonna just say how I think they did a great job in HR. I wanna give HR kudos too, everybody behind them. I think that's great, love it.
6 o'clock again?
Yes.
Okay, next meeting is July 11th. I had to write that down.
Did you get that? July 11th is our next meeting. If you folks would like to come back, we would love to have you.
Yeah, thank
And
you.
bring friends.
Yeah, bring a lot of them. We won't have food, but, you know, you can bring friends.
Well, we know somebody that could,
Yeah, biscuits and
Oh.
gravy. All right.
get you a bowl of clam
Got
chowder.
a lot of bagels and muffins.
Get you a bowl of clam chowder. There should be one left over.
We almost sold out today.
Meeting's adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you, folks, for being